So, as we enter a new dawn of the DFL and a brand new season, all the drivers return and are all here to do one thing. After coming off the back of a brilliant end to Season 3, we see ourselves at Bahrain for the start of Season 4 with a few changes. This season is only going to get exciting from here, and I hope you are all ready for it. Here we go. Then lights on, fast laps, foot flat to the floor. It's time for qualifying for the Bahrain opener. Practice is done with now, and it's time to see who will make or break as we go round this 3.3 mile circuit with 15 corners with 6 to the left and 9 to the right, and 3 DRS zones to allow drivers to get the best overtaking opportunity. The top speed you can achieve is 199.4 miles per hour. This track holds an elevation of a change of 15 meters. Bahrain is notorious for eating up the rear tires, so expect a lot of pit stops during this race. A lap around Bahrain will make you push to full throttle for 74% of a lap. Today's race, we have a race distance of 308 kilometers and 57 laps ahead of the drivers today. The last 3 seasons here at Bahrain, we saw Callum take pole position and then go on to take the win with a 37.4 second gap in front of Preston, with Preston also taking a podium here. Then in Season 2 you saw Harry take pole and then Preston go on and get the win with a 1.5 second gap between Callum, where Carl also took the podium in 3rd place. Then we move on to the season just gone, Season 3, where Carl took pole position and Charlie came back and took the win at Bahrain on the season that he returned and went on to win the championship at Abu Dhabi. And of course on the podium that season was Carl and Harry to follow him in suit in 2nd and 3rd. So as we head into today's race and qualifying, who knows what this holds for us. So I hope you guys at home are locked and loaded for today's action. But of course, I cannot do this alone, people. Unfortunately, Peter is now a driver, so I do not have the greatness of Peter on commentary, but we have someone just as good. I introduce to you people the one half of the Season 1 Constructors Champions and the Season 1 World Drivers Champion, Preston.
Hello. Welcome to the Bahrain Grand Prix. I'm looking forward to being on the commentary team and sharing this space with you, Dan.
Thank you very much. Welcome in. I'm glad to have you on. I'm glad to have you with us. You know, 3 seasons of experience of driving you're bringing to the table, whilst I've got none. So it's clearly going to be much better than my commentary.
Yeah, hoping to bring some insight into some of the decisions that go on track here today. But I did want to point out, though, as you were mentioning, this is the first race of the season, but it also is the 50th race of the DFL League. We have reached the milestone of 50 races. I found this out with Callum after going through the races. But yeah, quite a momentous occasion today is.
So I did not expect that. The 50th race.
It is indeed with 50 races already gone past.
Jesus, and just to think, we started this league off with the 7 of us, of course, Charlie being around for 2 races left, so it became the 6 of us, but wow, that's mental.
It is indeed. Time has flown by.
It really has. But here we are in Season 4, Bahrain, and as we go on, your times are being set in. George sticks it on provisional pole with a 128.806. Peter follows in suit with a 129.406. Bradley takes that P3 position with a 129.930, and Cole just follows in suit behind, 0.06 of a second off in P4 with a 129.990. Harry then takes P5 with a 130.150, and Charlie takes P6 with a 1:30.189. Again, 300, not even 300s, 200ths of a second off, I would call that, mate. Well, no, 400ths of a second. I got my maths completely wrong there. Callum sticks it in P7 with a 1:30.203, and Jamie sticks it in P9 with a 1:30.871. Some great times already by our guys, I must say. Don't you agree?
I do have to agree. It's a strong showing from George here so far, but it's quite interesting to see that most of the teams have paired up to each other so far on the qualifying. You've got Alpine up top with Mercedes and Red Bull following behind, and Jamie's now just improved as well. So it is in the team order.
It really is, and it's great to see teams together once again. We never saw it in season 4 due to the fact that we didn't have enough drivers to pair them together, but now we do. We have 8 drivers. Well, we have 9, but one of the guys sadly couldn't turn up today, but I'm sure he'll be coming back for a few more races in the future. But we have 9 drivers, of course, that one guy on his own, but the rest are in teams, so the constructors does matter this season. It didn't really matter last season, to be honest, but I'm glad it matters again.
Yeah, it was an interesting dynamic last season with the AIs, but I do prefer the personal touch of having the 2 teammates on a team.
Very true, and of course we know that Callum was meant to go with you, and is quite upset that you've come on the commentary team.
Yeah, it's a last minute switch, but I'm sure he'll do well with Jamie anyway. They do get along quite well. And yeah, I do have faith that Callum can get a result here as well, without me.
Well, we know that, as I mentioned before, Callum did get in Season 1 the pole position and the win. Of course, you got second place, separated by a 37-second gap. It was a pretty good first win, and I forgot to mention it, to be honest, but it was in a weird looking car. It was meant to be a Williams, but it weirdly looks like a Mercedes.
Yeah, that final corner must have changed something, because definitely a different call out when you're on across the finish line there.
Yeah, I definitely won't be making that mistake again. But what are you looking forward to this season? Brand new season. Who do you think's going to really shine this season?
I don't know. I think also you got the Charlie from last season. He's going to be buzzing with the confidence he got. But if George can put in some consistent races, I think he could be up there. I think we've seen Carl perform in the past. He said himself he's a bit out of it at the moment, but he could easily bring it back. You don't lose your class. And you also got the new drivers like Peter, for example, who's showing quite good pace today. And Callum obviously wants to go back to his previous self of fighting for the championships in Season 1. Harry's been unfortunate. Bradley's obviously new to this, so we could see something better from him. And Jamie as well, who's also been here since the start, but has been very unfortunate to put some races and some good form together. So yeah, all in all, I'm looking forward to it all. I haven't really got a favourite driver so far.
Fair enough. I think this championship, of course, last season it started out as a 5-way battle for the championship. I think we could see that replicated again. Of course, as you mentioned, the Season 3 World Drivers Champion we have in Charlie. You have the Season 2 World Drivers Champion in Carl. You know, both of those guys will be looking for a second championship, whilst the rest of them will be looking for a first championship. And I don't think there's anyone in the league who cannot have that chance. I mean, you know, of course, the likes of Jamie gets very unlucky, but we've seen he can get victories when he wants to. Yeah,
he's a very strong driver, but on his day, I just think that sometimes it's never really going his days most of the time. But fingers crossed this season does bode well for him. But obviously you've also got Harry as well, who's finished, second and third in recent seasons. So he's always been in and around there, so he's going to be up for a fight as well.
Very, very true. Harry will be looking for a possible redemption, of course, but I don't think there's possibly another better redemption story than Charlie's. Of course, you know, was in Season 1 for 2 races, sadly had to leave, came back in Season 3, and won the World Drivers' Championship. Obviously, it's a touchy subject. It was an unlucky time for you. But genuinely, I think he did really well. Both of you did really well. To take it to Abu Dhabi was just brilliant for content, may I just say.
Yeah, I have nothing but full plaudits to Charlie. He did excellent throughout the whole season. It was unfortunate on my end, but at the end of the day, he performed better on the final race, and that's what it comes down to when you go equal points onto the final race. So yeah, nothing but plaudits for him, and hopefully he can replicate in this season.
Very true, and as we talk, Charlie takes P3 with a 129.418, separated, I may have my maths wrong here, Preston, by only, say, a tenth, 100th of a second.
Yeah, 100th of a second, yeah. That's quite the close call there, but that strong showing from George is really putting a test to all the drivers here. We are starting to see the teams mix up a little bit though, which is quite nice to see. I think it's that lap from George is looking really strong for the moment. I haven't seen anyone even break the 28-second barrier yet.
Very true. Of course, we spoke about who's gonna shine and stuff, but what team do you think is gonna stand out this season? Any team in particular?
I don't know. I mean, Harry and Charlie are quite the formidable partnership. Charlie also winning the World Championship, Harry being close to one, so that's a possibility. You got George, who has the pace but never really showed up for many races last season. Peter, who's new but clearly also has a pace, as we've seen. He's improved on it. He nearly broke that 28 barrier just now, with George also improving. But yeah, I mean, you've got Mercedes as well, with Bradley, who's a new driver, and Carl, who's got the experience of winning a World Championship. So I think all in all, they're quite closely contended.
Very true. I mean, you say Bradley's a new driver, but it's no longer his rookie season. He's won a Grand Prix now. He's experienced that excitement. He'll want to push for it more.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think this is a season where he's got to start racking up a few more wins. He came close in the previous season to getting a few more than just one, but yeah, this is a season where he's got to, with Carl as teammate, I think he'll definitely secure more wins.
Very true, and it'll be an exciting partnership for sure. It'd be an exciting season between everyone. We have an 18 race season for you, so not as long as season 3, but longer than season 1 and season 2 were. So you've got that middle ground. Hopefully enough time for points to be racked up. Of course, those 4 sprint races as well. We can't forget about those. Those just add on extra points. So I think this championship, either one person will run away with it, or it's going to be very tight between multiple people.
Yeah, fingers crossed for the latter there. We don't really want to see a driver win it by a landslide, so fingers crossed we get to see quite a contested battle again like last season.
Very true. And can we just appreciate, you said earlier, for this is our 50th race, a monumental occasion. Never thought we'd make it this far. Fact is, we now have 9 drivers. Obviously we have 8 here. If Jake starts to turn up, that's 9. We are growing every so often. We got the TikTok account, we got the Discord. Why don't you guys go and join it whilst you're at it? The links are down in the description down below. But we are honestly making some progression, and it's amazing to see.
Yeah, it is nice. From where we came from originally, I think it was 6 drivers originally. It's good to see that it's improving, and every driver is improving their skill as well. It's just good to see that the league's actually upgrading from where we started.
Very true. And talking about improving, Harry goes P4 now, taking that with a 129.626, separating him and Bradley by 0.04 of a second on the dot. That it just shows how close the DFL truly is, and why you don't want to miss any of this DFL action, people.
Yeah, so it's very close, and the teams are back in order again, with Red Bull now pipping the Mercedes. But I do want to see some improvement from the McLaren, because I don't think that's their strongest pace. But yeah, it's looking good so far. But that George just seems to be improving on his time, and no one can even touch him. So this is incredible showing from George so far.
Very true, but of course, Carl's moved up to P4 with a 129.518, separated by 1/10 of a second from him and Charlie, getting him that weight between Charlie and Harry now, separating it a little bit.
That's going to be a good team play, because if it stays as it is, both teams will line up behind each other on the grid.
Very true, and of course we know that Carl and Harry used to be teammates. Now Harry's back with his old Season 1 teammate. Do you think there'll be, I don't know how to say it really, but do you think there'll be any help between Carl and Harry potentially being old teammates if one of them's on for a championship title and come near the end? Of course, Brazil being the finale this season.
I think it will heavily depend on where they are standing in the championship, but for being honest, both being on separate teams, they're going to be wanting to help their teammates more than old rivals. So yeah, I think they'll put that in their past. They'll respect each other on track, but I think if they don't have to help, they won't help.
Fair enough, and of course, currently George is sticking it on pole with a 128.570, but the best time we've had in Bahrain, recorded for a qualifying time, is of course Callum with a 128.065. So the fact that Callum still holds that is very well done for him, to be fair.
Yeah, it was with a slightly different car, but that time is still impressive on Callum, and it shows that he did once have the pace, and I don't know, maybe he can improve here today just before qualifying ends. I did see that Jamie did get held up by the AIs on his lap there, so unfortunately I don't know if he have enough time to get back out again. Jamie might be stuck there, but I do have to see where Callum goes, because he is ahead of the AIs right now.
To be fair, I have said countless times, Callum, he was strong in Season 1 and Season 2, and then it's not like he's dropped off in Season 3, it's just I think the competition got better. He never dropped off. The competition got better. But he was still, in my opinion, Mr. Consistent. He was the George Russell of the DFL.
Yeah, I think he's mainly struggled with these new regulation changes. The car's changing. I think that's not been a helping hand for him. He did suit the other cars more, and he has improved there. Just about a 10th off the pace from Bradley there. But yeah, I just think he's just learning the new car, and hopefully he can bring back his pace from the old days into this car.
Very, very true, and hopefully within this season he does improve and show us that he can win races again. Because sadly, again, he didn't in Season 3, but we'd love to see it in Season 4. We'd love to see everyone win a race, but you never know. But with 4 seconds left of qualifying here, everyone will be finishing their laps now and making sure their times are set. Of course, new rules are for AI points no longer count towards the actual drivers, so if you don't show up you don't get points. So that's the same for Jake. The fact that he's not showing up means he does not get points today.
What do I say though? I've just cut to Peter here, and he's on for a strong showing. He's got a purple middle sector here. I didn't quite see his first sector, so we could see a close call ending here if he gets this corner right.
What's it gonna be? It's looking like a strong lap, a strong finish. Ow!
I think George must have pipped in the first sector, because that was a strong second sector there from him. But he unfortunately doesn't break the 28-second barrier. Is Bradley on a lap? No, unfortunately, I think he's run out of fuel. So I think he might be, but I think he's running low on the ERS here, so I don't know if he's on a lap.
Well, Callum's just gone back into pits, but it seems like Bradley wants to finish his times. Doesn't improve it, unfortunately. But once Callum sticks it in the pits, that will be the end of qualifying. What a great qualifying it was. And people, will be right back with you in a second for your leaderboard rundown. Do not miss it, people. Do not be late. Here we are for your leaderboard rundown. George sticks it on pole position. Man comes in closely in P2 is Peter. In P3 is Charlie. P4 is Carl. Harry in P5. Bradley in P6. Callum in P7. And unfortunately, Jamie has gone down a bit to P10. Here we are for the Bahrain formation lap. And I hope you are all ready for it. It should be an exciting race. Here we go as the drivers take to the track now. What are you expecting from this race, Preston?
A lot of overtaking, with them being so closely contested throughout qualifying. It shows that they've got similar pace. And with, Charlie and Harry sitting behind each other on the grid. You got Carl and Bradley sitting behind each other on the grid. They're going to be slipstreaming off each other to try and dive bomb into turn 1. So I think that one you're going to see a fair few overtakes, maybe some incidents. We don't know, hopefully not, but we might see some.
Who knows? Do you think, obviously Jamie being down in P10, he could potentially work his way back up at all?
It's a possibility of a different strategy compared to the rest because of how far back he is. He could long it out and try and catch him on the pit stop, but I think Jamie could easily come back up into this fight. I don't think P10s rule him out.
Fair enough. It's going to be an interesting fight for sure whether George can get away. Do you think George being in P1, do you think, and Peter being in P2, do you think they'll, Peter will help George out? I think they said they'll, fight for the first race, see who's going to go for the title, and then end up helping each other, to be honest.
Showing how fast George was, if he can keep that in the race, I think he's got not much worries to worry about. But yeah, I think they'll respect each other, but if Peter can go for a move, I think he'll go for one. And this is the crucial point, so...
Very, very true. It's to see who can march on and lead the championship within this season. Of course, last season when Charlie took the first win, he held the championship all season. It was something else, to be honest, wasn't it?
Yeah, I tried my best to catch up with him, but yeah, he held up quite strong and pressure didn't really seem to get to him. So, as you said, from the start, you've got to get a good start and put your points on the board.
Very, very true. But as the drivers line up now, take back their positions on the grid, we're all getting excited and ready for what is about to go down. I will leave it over to you now, Preston, to do the lights out.
No problem. I think everybody's lined up now. Yep, they are. Yellow flag. So and away we go here. That's a good start from George here. Charlie's got a start on Peter as well, making a dive from down the inside. So, can he get it?
Oh!
Yeah, he's got it. Charlie is now in the lead, but there's so much going on, I can't keep up. George is now behind Charlie, with Harry following closely behind. The McLarens have moved up as well.
Both of Mercedes been sent down. Bradley in P11, Carl in P17. This is almost like this is almost like the season 2 Bahrain for Carl all over again.
James was spun by the AlphaTauri, Pierre Gasly.
What the hell is going on? Why is there so much carnage?
Well, it's the opener of the season and more to come.
Obviously.
And George has also been overtaken by Harry as well. The Red Bulls are now 1 and 2 here in this race.
But George has come back.
It's looking like a good battle here.
Both Harry and George fighting worse side by side, but now Harry leads it into the corner with P2. George under pressure by the AlphaTauri Yuki Tsunoda, but he's dropping down a bit.
And also dropped down as well.
Oh my god, what the hell?
I didn't see what happened here, but Bradley's now overtaken Callum. It's now the Red Bulls up top with George closely behind, and the rest of the drivers all falling down.
A very unlucky time for the drivers so far, but Charlie and Harry will be loving this. The fact that both the Red Bulls are back on top, they'll absolutely be loving this. But do not count out George just yet. Harry is under pressure by him, and we know what George can do. But Bradley now moves up to P9 due to Peter in P7, Cole in P11. He's about to go for an overtake, I think. Looking for the overtake on Sebastian Vettel, going on the outside.
Both McLaren, sorry, have both pitted. They're both going to go for the long strategy here. Although it is holding Jamie up here with Callum being in the pits, or is that Jamie in front?
That is Callum in front. Oh,
yeah, Callum got held up. Oh, this has turned out to be quite an interesting race. The long strategy can work here, but they'll need to pit again. I believe it's a one-stop race, so those hards will not last all 50 laps.
Very, very true. I don't know how the McLarens will play it. No, they haven't gone on the hards. Jamie's gone on the softs.
Is Jamie on the softs? Oh, Callum's on the hards himself, so maybe Callum's going for the longer strategy, whilst Jamie's just trying to rebuild the time. Unless that was just a mistake from the McLaren team.
Who knows? Is it a mistake? Was it on purpose? We don't know, but we move up again. Carl again sat in P10. Bradley has moved up to P8. Peter's still in that P7 slot, but looking for the overtake on the Ferrari of Charles Leclerc going on the inside, getting the overtake onto P6, but they're still going wheel to wheel into the corner. But Peter goes braking early, but a spin to Peter by Charles, and now Bradley's overtaken Peter. A very like, oh my god, more carnage. Peter!
This is just Carl. Peter's struggling here to get his car back on track. He's facing the wrong way. He's dropping places here. This is not good for Alpine.
It really isn't. Peter now down to P17. What the hell has happened? Total carnage. Whilst Charlie is still up in P1 here. Harry in P2. George is dropping down seconds. Cannot catch up to Harry. A yellow flag in Sector 1 here now. Sector 2. It seems like one of the Mercedes or something maybe causing it. No, it don't know what the hell's gone on.
Aston Martin might be pulling over here, retiring.
Yeah, that looks like
it's going to retire.
There's our first retirement of season 4. What a shock, eh?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of carnage been going on, and maybe it was a terminal damage. I'm not sure, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe it wasn't enough for him to carry on the race today.
Very true. I don't think that's going to be a safety car though, because he pulled over to one side. Not much there for a meaning of a safety car, to be honest. I think it'll be all good otherwise. But yeah, George, what the hell's going on with George? He was on top, and now he's down in P3 and cannot catch up to Harry.
Yeah, it's I see George is on the hards though. I do have to point that out. Harry's on softs and Charlie's on mediums, so they're going to have to box before George does. So George is playing the long game, weighing them out a little bit.
Very true. A wise decision by George, I would say, to go on that longevity. We've seen that work before, especially in Season 1 France and Season 2 France, when Harry, again, sadly beat you both times.
Yeah, unfortunately. But as we can see here, Brad is also in the pits as well, going onto the hard, so he's going to try and play the long game as well. I think a lot of people that have boxed now are still going to have to box again, though, because I don't see them lasting the tyres.
No, I don't either. I don't know how they will, to be honest. We'll have to see how it goes. But the McLarens now slightly catching up. Callum within 3.4 seconds of Nicolas Latifi. However, Jamie 21 seconds down on Callum. What the hell has gone wrong for McLarens today?
They've just been involved in all the incidents so far. It's been very unfortunate for them. I'm sure they tried to push up as many places as they could from where they qualified. But as we saw, Callum got spun out by AI, Jamie got spun out by AI. I think it was just they're in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Very, very true. And a lot of the guys now separated, to be honest. I'm trying to keep track on who potentially is going for the overtake, who isn't. But it looks... I want to
say that Harry is closing up here as well.
Yeah, that's what I was about to mention. Will Harry go for the overtake on Charlie? Will we see another Red Bull versus Red Bull? It's looking like it. Harry has that DRS going on the inside of Charlie, who he shoots straight past. Charlie does not battle back. Obviously, don't want to damage each other. Having respect for each other and let it, you know, just having a nice battle, to be honest.
Yeah, that was very respectful from both drivers there. I think Harry does have the quicker tyres, so it wouldn't be much use them fighting. But if Charlie can get back at this, it'd be good for his race as well.
Very true, and of course, by them basically, using the DRS on each other, they're also getting away from their competition, essentially.
Yes, if they use it effectively, they will leapfrog themselves away from the competition. But if they start holding each other up, it could only mean bad news for them as a team.
And there's our first 5-second penalty for speeding in a pit lane. It was only so long before we got it, and unfortunately, it's been given to Bradley here.
Bradley's boxed again after he did just box with the hards. He put on softs now. This is, I didn't see, he must have had an incident maybe. But I don't see any other reason why you'd come off the hards now for softs.
Neither do I, George, but it looks like Charlie may be potentially gaining on Harry again if he can get the DRS round this time. A yellow sector 2, Mercedes have stopped. That is a Mercedes of Carl.
Oh. Has he spun out here?
I'm not.
It doesn't look like he's got any damage on his front wing, so not that I can see anyway.
Looks like just a normal spin then. A very unlucky time for Carl, I must say. That's for sure. But again, Charlie does seem to be catching up to Harry, but cannot push for the overtake. Is it a case that Harry's got faster tyre, so he gets in front, gives a slipstream to Charlie, and carries him away?
It would be the case, yeah. It doesn't look like Charlie's really pushing too hard to try and get ahead of him. He's got loads of ERS in storage. Yeah, I think he's just playing the long game, just using the DRS to pull him away from George.
I have to give it to him. It's a very tactical plan, to be honest. Get each other away and take P1 and P2 and leave for both championships,
Exactly. Carl has pitted as well. I think there must have been some damage, not that I could see. But he's had a collision there just coming out the pit lane with Nicholas Latifi.
But all drivers have been involved in some way or another a collision, and a very unlucky time for each driver. I bet you're enjoying your first day on commentary right now, aren't you?
Not being involved in all these incidences, yeah, I can say I'm quite nice being safe up here. But yeah, I think Callum's now also closing the gap to Latifi as well, which will mean he's close to Carl.
And that will be a battle we haven't really seen since Season 2, to be honest. Callum versus Carl would be a great battle to see.
It would be. A good flashback to Season 2, where there were some good battles between the two of them.
Very true. I remember, I'm not sure whether you heard in the videos, but I remember back in Season 3, when you and Callum were close together, I was thinking, yes, Season 1 vibes, here we go, they're going to have a great battle. Callum just lets you pass, like, what the hell?
Yeah, that was just a case of me being just the faster car, and he didn't want to hold me up, so it would only ruin his race and mine at the same time, so he had to let me go. But is this Bradley's still struggling to try and catch up with Jamie here as well?
Not a good time for Bradley at all. A 5-second penalty, now down in basically last place.
He has just set the fastest middle sector as well. So he is pushing on those softs, but they're not going to last very long around Bahrain.
Not at all, and with a 57 lap race, with 50 laps left to go, you've still got a very long time to make at least, I'd say, 2 pit stops needed, really.
And for him, he'll probably need, another pit stop. Maybe another one as well, but yeah. If he can catch up the time, maybe a safety car would help. Yeah, I don't know. It's a long race, so anything can happen, but it's not looking good for those at the back right now.
Very true, but Callum is catching up to Nicholas Latifi here, potentially going to go for an overtake if he can catch up here. Callum going to get his first overtake of Season 4. It'd be great to see it, to be honest. Got the DRS now, using the ERS at the same time, but not being able to catch up here. How the hell is Latifi pulling away from him?
It could be that setup. It could be that Callum's gone for a more drilled setup to go around the corners, but on the straights he's struggling for pace. Yeah, I think he'll get him on the long straight, hopefully. because he is looking really close right now.
Or potentially Callum. Again, look at it. He's losing the time. But on most corners, you're right. He's catching up. He's braking late. He's catching up a lot.
There's another Mercedes that spun. Is that Bradley? That is Bradley that spun.
Not a good time for Bradley at all today, really, has it? It's just, what is going wrong for him?
Callum's also got the overtake around the outside as well. He's fighting wheel to wheel with Latifi here. Latifi's going to get ahead, but he's going to have DRS coming down this last straight here.
Going wheel to wheel again. Callum pulls in front on the inside, but Latifi not giving up. Shall we say Gotafi, as we like to call him. Gotafi now drops down to P17. Callum takes out P16 now with a 5.8 second gap between him and Carl. Can he catch up to Carl and get that overtake? Whilst we were talking, Peter is now gaining on the Haas of Mick Schumacher, now your old teammate in fact. Can he get the overtake or not? Mick Schumacher was always useless for you in constructors, wasn't he? Now going on the inside, wheel to wheel, and he easily gets through.
There from Peter. Lunged in one way to cut down the inside on the exit. That was a good play from him. He's now just outside of DRS for Stroll. I think he might have just caught it, but I think he might have been before the detection zone. Yeah, unfortunately he is.
But do not count him out, because he definitely can catch up on his own, and I think he will have Lance Stroll before we know it. Potentially here, he's getting really close now. And Cole sets the fast lap. Oh, sorry.
No, carry on.
Cole sets the fast lap with a 133. I didn't really see it, but as we're speaking, Pete goes on the inside and gets the overtake on the Aston Martin.
Yeah, that was clean racing from Peter there.
Showing.
That was very good.
Very, very true. Nicely done by Peter, I must say. Now, all the guys once again quite separated. George still separated, but Charlie and Harry have got quite the separation going on now. No longer within DRS range.
Yeah, that is unusual. That might be just Charlie trying to protect his tyres a little bit, to extend them a bit more to match George's strategy, instead of burning them being behind Harry the whole time. But Harry's not going to have long left on those tyres before he boxes himself, so yeah, I won't be long before we see Charlie leading this race.
Very true, and of course George is quite close, so Harry will drop down a few places, I would say, at least. Yeah, he'll probably drop down to around P6, I would reckon. Just due to that gap between Albon and Leclerc is quite big at the moment. Very, very true, but as we're talking again, Peter on the attack, now looking for the overtake on the Alfa Romeo of Zhou Guan Yu, going on the inside. Does he get the overtake?
No, he's going to let... Oh, maybe. Did he get... Oh, he got DRS. Oh, that was a good play from Peter. He dropped back to get to the detection zone to get the DRS, but Ranger is fighting there. Oh, no, he's got the move done.
Nicely done, nice and clean by Peter. I will say that, to now be in P10, back in my points. Alpine will be looking to score even more points, but who knows whether they'll be able to keep going up or not, who knows. But Carl still in P15, Callum still in P16, Jamie in P18, and Bradley still quite far behind on P19. Even Jamie's far behind on P18.
Yeah, I have been watching after Callum got the move on Latifi, whether he'll try and gain on Carl, but it seems like he just cannot get that time down. It's just increasing. Carl is pulling away massively here.
Very true. It doesn't look like Callum will be catching up anytime soon. A very unfortunate sight, because we would have loved to see that battle, wouldn't we?
Yeah, that would have been very interesting. That would have been very good as well.
Very true, but we are now on the 11th lap of the first race of Season 4. I hope you are all enjoying it. If you are, leave a like and subscribe, because why the hell wouldn't you? You know, just be nice. Come on, you know you want to. But back...
Harley has now got broken DRS at the top here, I believe, unless he's had a moment here. But he did get within 8 tenths.
But he just misses out again. Harry's still pulling away.
Yeah, I think Harry's doing very well on the exits here. Charlie's trying to dive into these corners, but Harry's doing very well, getting the acceleration he needs for the exit to boost that time back up again.
The Red Bulls have come in, honestly, so prepared, haven't they?
Yeah, very well drilled team so far this race.
But how do you beat them? Like, how do you come up with a plan to beat them? Obviously, Harry will have to pit. Charlie will have to pit eventually. George being on the hards will last longer for them. But even so, they'll be on the fresher tyres, be able to catch up again.
Yeah, I think George's strategy is the only counter I can see right now that's going to really affect them. But as I'm speaking, Peter is now closing on Magnussen here. He is going to be stuck in a DRS train down into the main straight though. So he might be able to get a move, but he won't be able to get both cars here.
But it's nicely done by Peter to get up to P9 now, looking for the Ferrari of Carlos Sainz. Can he look for the gap that he needs to get past potentially not just one but two cars here? Of course, Alexander Albon just in front of Carlos Sainz. The DRS will not be affected, will not give effect to Peter, obviously because of Carlos getting it on Albon. But it does not matter because Peter is hunting down the Ferrari nonetheless.
Yeah, he is really close right now. I think he can. Yeah, he's going to get the move down the outside around this corner here, and he's going to be in perfect position to get Albon and the following straight with DRS. This is really good driving from Peter here.
It really is showing why he is now a DFL driver. You know, obviously a commentator last season, but a driver this season. It's nice to see that as well. But potentially going for the overtake on Alexander Albon here, looking on the inside. No, on the outside would that be? I think that's the outside, ain't it? Technically.
Yeah, the inside to outside.
Yep, there we go. Outside of Albon, going wheel to wheel, but pulls in front on that corner. Nicely done by Peter. Goes a bit off track, but goes up to P7 here, working his way back up very slowly but surely. But now Carl in range for an overtake as well, potentially, on Pierre Gasly.
Yeah, he is, but I do want to make a note. George is now closer to Charlie than Charlie is to Harry at the top of the grid. He has pulled back that time massively.
Very well done by George, to be honest. It's nice to see him back, you know. Of course, when he debuted back in Spain, he showed every one of you guys up and won the race. He's been strong in every race he's taken part in, especially Singapore. He just got very unlucky there, didn't he? He's a very good driver, and it'd be great to see him challenge.
Here. That's Carl out. Is that going to be a safety car? Because I don't think it will be.
No, he's off the side of the track. He's not actually on the track, so there'd be no need for a safety car.
I thought there might have been damage on track, but because there's a missing wing on one of the cars he had a collision with there.
A very unlucky time for the Mercedes driver of Carl. Bradley will have to carry the team into the points now to even get some points in the Constructors' Championship. But still a very unlucky time for Carl.
Yeah, it's Pierre Gasly again. He was the one that was involved with Jamie at the start, and he's involved with Carl here.
And now he's potentially going to be catching up to Callum, not too far behind. Only 1 second now, losing quite a bit of time to be fair. Callum, obviously the faster driver out of them both. But now some pits going ahead for the AIs. Valtteri Bottas and Albon included. Will that mean Callum potentially getting some more places here if he can catch up in time? I don't think it will. I think Albon may get out before Callum can catch up here.
That is true, but I do want to make note that George is now within DRS of Charlie. a move is going to happen within the next lap or two.
How the hell has he come back? Well, actually, no, I have the answer to that. Harry went off. Charlie didn't have the slipstream or DRS anymore. George is potentially a faster driver. He's been able to catch up. And Bob's your uncle.
Yeah, I think Charlie's struggling with his tyres. George, obviously, his tyres are going to be coming into life. And Harry now pitting, he's not going to have that option either. And if he was close, George could take the lead here in the next couple of laps.
Yeah, whether George, due to Harry pitting, has got up to P2 here. Nicely done by George. Obviously, didn't really put much effort into it because Harry pitted, but you get what I mean. Still nicely done by him. But George is now on the hunt for Charlie. He wants that P1 position back. Can he take it back or not?
Yeah, the pace he's showing, I think he can easily take this back. I think it won't be long now before Charlie boxes himself, just to get on those fresh tyres. I think he is struggling on those tyres.
Very, very true. But whether Charlie will pit soon or not, whether Charlie will pit this lap will be interesting. He has to think about this very tactically. George, now with the DRS, he is getting ever so close, within 0.2 seconds of Charlie. Charlie tried all he can to pull away, but to no avail here. Those hards have coming to true effect for George here now. Potentially looking on the inside if he can just catch up enough to Charlie here. Does he have DRS? No, he doesn't. But he's within the DRS zone now. It's all down to whether Charlie pits. It's not. No, he. Oh, is he going to pit? No, he doesn't.
Well, he's trying staying out. He's trying to weave to try and break off that slipstream. But I think it won't be enough. I think. Yep, George has gone around the outside.
Oh, but Charlie.
But Charlie blocks off the inside. That's good defending.
Brilliant.
He's got another DRS opportunity going up down the straight here. Can he get the move?
It's going to be interesting, that's for sure.
Charlie is defending very well down there. But Harry, in the meantime, Harry did get the overtake on Leclerc after he went in the pits. Harry is on softs though, so again, those tyres won't last very long, so he'll be boxing soon enough. Maybe to match George's strategy, actually. When George boxes, he might box at the same time.
Who knows? But now, if you see, Peter's back up to P4 as well. So we have a Red Bull Alpine going strong in the top 4 right now.
Yeah, it's a strong show from both teams today. McLaren aren't doing too bad. I mean, Callum's now up to P10 after the AI's pit. And he's not too far off Mick Schumacher. So he's in the points again. But, yeah. It's not been a good day for Jamie or Bradley, and Carl as well.
It really hasn't, to be honest. Hopefully all of them come back strong next time. Who knows? But George is getting ever so closer now. Still within that 0.3 second range. Got it down to 0.1. But Charlie keeps pulling away. But it may be George's time now on the outside. Using the slipstream. Using the DRS. And makes it past Charlie with ease. Charlie trying to come back now. But cannot get past George.
Should be up there straight though with DRS. After being behind George, can he fight back? Sitting right behind, getting that slipstream, but he's going down the inside. Is there contact?
Oh!
There's contact, and he's spun. He's spun.
That is not good. Not a good way to start season 4. Will that need to be investigated? I think it was just a racing incident, to be fair.
Yeah, if anything, it was Charlie being a bit brave down the inside there. So, yeah, I don't suppose much punishment can come from that except from the fact he spun himself.
Very, very true. Now Charlie will have to put in the work to catch back up, as Harry does have to on Charlie and Peter has to on Harry. Hopefully the 4 of them come together and it's a really interesting battle between both teams. But who knows here. But as you said, Callum is up to...
Again.
What, Bradley?
Bradley has spun again. Yeah, he was very close to overtaking Lance Stroll. I don't know if there was contact, but all of a sudden there was yellow flags, and yeah, he's dropped down in seconds.
A very unlucky time for Bradley. I don't know what's gone on with him today. Honestly, I don't. It's just not gone well for him at all, has it?
No, today has not been his day at all. You've got to feel for him in a way. Yeah, he's just been involved in all the incidents, as well as Jamie as well. He's now just coming out the pits. I think he's on fresh hard, so he'll be longing them out for as long as he can. Maybe to the end if he can long them out enough.
Very true, but as you said before... Oh, Harry's overtaken Charlie now due to Charlie going into the pits. Charlie going onto the hards.
Yeah, Charlie's going to try and long out those hards as long as he can, but he had to pit after spinning out, and without losing any more time, he had to just get on those fresh tyres.
Very true, but as I keep going, trying to go back to, but keep getting distracted at the point of Callum up to P10 back into the points now.
He is, and he's closing in. He's going to have the DRS going down the main straight of Mick Schumacher. Fingers crossed he can get the move done. He hasn't looked too great on the straight so far, but DRS could come into play, and he has a lot of ERS and spare as well.
Now, with the DRS open, however, that closes due to going into the corner, going against your old teammate once again, the one who could never score points, and yeah, very unfortunately lost you the constructors, to be honest. But now Callum racing all he can with all the power.
Oh, he's touched the curb a little bit, but I think he'll get the move done. He does get the move done. That was good racing from there. Callum there.
Up to P9. Nicely done by Callum there. Very well done, in fact. Back up to 2 points in the championship now. If he can hold that position, maybe more if he can get back up. Who knows? But can we just appreciate the top 4 are separated by so much?
Yeah, that's going to come down to the different strategies they've all got going on at the moment. George is probably going to be staying out for a little bit longer before he has to box. And same with Harry. Harry's not going to have much life left in his tyres because he's on softs. But it'll be an interesting end to the race to see who comes out, whose strategy was better out of the 4 of them.
Oh no, Bradley spun
again. Oh, today is not his day. Without the retirement.
Oh no.
He's not moving.
Looks like the lag's come into effect for him again, I think. A very unlucky time for Bradley, for sure, I must say. But who knows what can happen here. Jamie up to P17 now. Callum back up to P9. It's really going on today, honestly. But no one really going for an overtake right now. What do you think of this race so far? With Carl DNFing, with the guys being quite separated.
I think it's been very interesting. The amount of incidents that's been, it's been far from little drama this race. Yeah, I just want to see more drama, to be honest. It's been really entertaining so far, and I think we may have come to a bit of a quiet point in the race. But yeah, hopefully we see some more overtakes soon.
Very, very true. Do you think you'll return to the commentary box?
It's looking very good. It's been very, very entertaining so far. Yeah, we'll have to soon see.
Oh, very, very good. But Bradley serving the 5-second penalty now within the pits, going back onto the hards again. And now Bradley not moving. Oh, there we go. Took a bit. Don't know why that took so long.
Yeah, I think he may have forgotten about the pit release. I think that is on manual, haven't we? We changed it this season.
Pit release assist is still on. However, pit assist is off.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I don't know what actually happened there. A bit weird, but never mind. We shall move on. But Jamie now potentially is catching up to Pierre Gasly. Could he get the overtake here on the AlphaTauri driver?
And fingers crossed. I mean, it'll be revenge from earlier when he first spun him out on lap 1. So It could be interesting to see how easy it is to overtake Pierre Gasly, as he has DNF'd another driver.
Very true. Now, Jamie is going to have to be very, very careful here as he approaches Pierre Gasly. Make sure not to anger the Frenchman, because we all know that French can be a bit angry. No offence. But that's probably a joke I should not have said. I regret that completely now. But we move swiftly on. Jamie is trying all he can to catch up to Pierre Gasly here.
He's running low on that ERS. He's hopefully going to stay within DRS range for the upcoming DRS straight. Oh, he's going down down the inside here. Can he get the move? It's a tight corner away. No, he's just behind.
Unfortunately,
he should be able to get the move down this straight though.
They did go wheel to wheel, but Jamie was not able to pull in front, unfortunately. But Jamie has another chance here with the DRS now, but he cannot catch up enough to overtake the AlphaTauri.
Yeah, I think he's losing pace. He hasn't got that ERS, and he's using every last ounce he can get out of it. But I think...
Oh! He went on the inside and got the overtake.
Yeah, Pierre Gasly had a bit of a wobble and he took full advantage of that.
Nicely done by Jamie. Hopefully we see him get up a few more places back into the points, but who knows, it's going to be a challenge for him, especially the fact that Pierre Gasly is now coming back on him. Pierre is not giving up, going back on the inside of Jamie and getting the overtake done. Can Jamie go on the outside and secure that position back again? And he does. Brilliantly done by Jamie.
Yeah, it was great defending. Great defending from him. Considering now he was just behind the detection zone for that last straight there, so we've got DRS to pull away from Pierre Gasly, and now he's got a nice comfortable gap going to the next DRS zone.
Very, very true. He will not be under threat anymore by Pierre Gasly. He will be able to relax a little bit, you know, take it back and just drive for a bit, you know, because that's what our drivers like doing. But can we just discuss Bradley for a second? A 53-second gap between him and Pierre. Something's gone wrong today.
Yeah, it's not looking good at all, and I think that is Callum in 9th, about to lap him, just behind him. Yeah, it's not looking good for him today at all. He needs a safety car desperately.
But we say about just Bradley, it hasn't gone right at all for Mercedes today. It's almost like the 22 season in real F1 for Mercedes all over again. Their car just isn't working.
Yeah, it was very unfortunate for Carl. AI obviously taking him out, but yeah, Bradley's somehow stayed alive in this race from AI's instances. But yeah, it's cost him a lot today.
It really has, and hopefully Bradley can come back in the next race, which is, if I just quickly check, Silverstone.
Yeah.
A very good track in my opinion. Potentially a good track for the guys to have a great battle. I mean, of course it wasn't uploaded, but Season 1 Silverstone was something else.
Yeah, that was another eventful race, and hopefully we can get it again this season.
Hopefully we can. Who knows? Who knows? Of course, no, Season 3 Silverstone was quite good as well, to be fair. That was an exciting race.
Yeah, it was.
But, honestly, I hate these parts in races when everyone is divided. No one's looking for any overtakes. You sort of run out of stuff to talk about.
Well, yeah, saying that, though, I did want to point out, though, that in the all-time list of wins, Harry and Carl both sit on 7, and with Carl out of this race, it gives Harry the opportunity to one up on Carl here and get 8 to tie with Charlie in the all-time wins.
Very interesting. So Harry could be overtaking Carl and matching on Charlie today potentially. That'll be an interesting one, but it all comes down to whether Harry can catch up to George or not. Of course, there's still that 13-second gap between him and George. He'll have to find some way to catch up.
Yeah, that is a big gap, and I think Harry's still on those softs, so I'm not too sure how long those are going to last.
Neither, to be honest. I mean, how long has he been using those for now? I don't think very... He's been using those for 9 laps. They can't last much longer.
Yeah, he boxed lap 14 for those softs. Went from softs to softs, so yeah, I'm not too sure they're going to last too long.
But George must be loving this right now, you know. First race back, you know, first race of season 4, a chance to take the championship at its head. And he's doing that, ain't he? He's sat comfortably in P1. He's not under threat at all. He's just having a nice chill drive.
Yeah, he's really turned up today. Qualifying, he outclassed everybody. And so far, looking like he's got the best strategy. Been out of the incidents, sat back and let Harry and Charlie sort of get away a little bit, fight a little bit, and took full advantage when Harry went to box.
Very true. But of course, last season, the Constructors' Champions were Alpine. Of course, Charlie's now been swayed over to Red Bull. George and Peter are now at Alpine. And this is a chance for the reigning Constructors' Champions to get ahead once again in the Constructors' Championship this season. Yeah,
it would be quite a spectacle to see them win the back-to-back. But I wouldn't rule Red Bull out of this. They have every right to win this race as well. Just about getting their Alpine cars home.
Very true, very true. And I remember Peter saying a bit ago, the only threat he sees for him and George in this season is Harry and Charlie. And it's no offence to the other drivers, it's kind of showing right now, ain't it, really? The only drivers that are currently competing with them are Harry and Charlie.
Yeah, I wouldn't rule out the others. I think they have had a tough time through no fault of their own, just through AIs, just collisions. Particularly Carl in particular, where DNFing. So I wouldn't rule them out, but this does give them a good head start on them for the next race in Silverstone.
Very true. And an 18 race season with a Brazil finale end is going to be a fantastic season for sure.
Yeah, slightly shorter than last season, but it's going to be very entertaining. I'm actually looking forward to it, seeing what outcome comes out of this season.
Are you looking forward to potentially not racing and getting in incidents and arguing with other drivers and so on and so forth?
Hold on here. Peter's just going into box now.
Oh.
Yeah, I am enjoying being out the drama, but it's quite a nice spectacle to watch.
But due to Peter pitting here, that means Charlie will now overtake him and take that P3 position here. That means Charlie will have like a 25-second gap between him and Harry. How the hell do you build that back up?
I personally think, from what I've seen, it was Charlie going from mediums to hard, so I think he's doing a one-stop. Whereas I think Harry and George are still yet to pit. So you could easily knock off another 21 seconds off the time, and he's right back in the fight again.
Very true, very true. These quiet periods, I always find when there's so many battles going on, the laps go very, very quickly. Time goes very quickly. When it's a quiet period, the laps go by very slowly. Time goes very slowly. And of course, we all love watching DFL action. We want it to last longer. I'm sure you guys absolutely want it to last longer, don't you all? But it does kind of. I don't know if you get the feeling, but it kind of drags a little.
Yeah, there's a slight drag, but I think it's just the anticipation, knowing what's to come. I think Peter's just been overtaken here. He has by Yuki Tsunoda. That's not going to be good news if he wants to try and claim back all these places, the time he's lost in the pits.
Very true, and it won't be good either if Alpine want to secure a first place in the Constructors' Championship after the first race of the season.
Yeah, they want to maximise as much points as they can get right now.
But Peter pushing all he can. Can he get it here on this straight? He's got to push and push and push. Has he got DRS? Yes, he has. He's got the DRS. Going on.
He's pulls to the inside, but he's going to try and go down the outside. He's going to hold back most likely for the upcoming DRS straight. As he now, he's in a good position here. Good exit. He's going to try and go around the inside. Baits the inside, goes around the outside. Yuki Tsunoda moves over to defend, and it should be a clean overtake from here. And he does. He gets the overtake done.
Nicely done by Peter to get that P4 position. But something we didn't really know, I think we discussed it before, Callum getting past Kim Magnussen. Now up to P8 here.
Yeah, I did see something just as they were fighting, Peter, that Lance Stroll did get past Jamie, but Jamie has got back that position. But yeah, I think Jamie's really struggling with his ERS. He's got nothing left in the tank, and down these straights, he's very, very vulnerable.
That's what I've always said about likes of Jamie, and I think Rick Vick was the same, Bailey was the same. You know, they use all their ERS up at first. They get it down to the bare bones, so there's nothing left when they truly, truly need it.
Yeah, I mean, a pit stop would help cover a lot of that energy. I think Jamie might need to do another one. I don't. What's he on? 10 laps hard. No, he might not need to do another one then, but yeah, I don't know. He's going to need to try and get back that energy because, yeah, it's not good news for him down those straights.
It really isn't, but who knows if Jamie can truly pull out an absolute wonder class for the remaining, call it 19 laps, potentially. I'd say 19.
Yeah, something like that.
No, that's wrong, actually. No, that's 29 laps. Yeah, 29 laps left to go. Yeah.
Sorry, it is 29.
But George takes the fast start with a 133.413. I believe that was nicely done by George, showing that he is not slowing down anytime soon, and he will keep this P1 position at any cost.
That is interesting to see he got fastest lap when he is on 28 lap old hards. Those tyres are going to be, they're going to be struggling, and he's still put the fastest lap in. It's incredible pace from George so far.
It really is showing why he could potentially be the season, it's about to be with me saying this, the season 4 World Drivers Champion. We were only discussing the season 3 World Drivers Champion a week ago on the 24-hour stream. If you were there, then I bet you loved it. But here we are in season 4, and it's a whole new season. Do not miss what's going to happen in the next 17 weeks now for we're down a race. You won't want to miss it.
Yeah, it's going to be very good. Especially with this Alpine and Red Bull battle going on up top right now.
Very, very true. So far, the two dominant teams, can McLaren and Mercedes potentially pull it together and come back at them? Can the Alfa Romeo driver Jake and his partner, whoever he decides to have it as, potentially pick up some points as well and get up there? You know, you don't know. Just because the first race has turned out like this doesn't mean it will turn out like this all the time.
Yeah, exactly. We could have easily had a very boring race and no incidents at all. But yeah, I think instances are good, but as long as it's not affecting the drivers too much, unfortunately for Carl, it has. But out of all the drivers so far left on the grid, I think it's Callum's looking most likely to get a move done here after Jamie overtakes Latifi from the pits. But on track, I think, yeah, Callum's closest out of all the drivers left on track.
Well, Callum will be loving the fact that he has a chance to get up another position and claim 6 points instead of 4, because every point counts within this championship fight. And Peter sets the fast time with 1:33.373. Nicely done by Peter to pick that apart, but Charlie's caught up to Harry here.
Charlie has, but Harry has boxed for the mediums. He is on the mediums now to the end, I would presume. So there's going to be fresh mediums. They're going to be flying. It might take a little while to warm up, but yeah, I think Harry might have the upper hand here in this fight.
And because of that, I believe Charlie did go on the outside and got past Harry. However, Harry is coming back. Are they fighting? What's going on here?
Yeah, it does look like that way. I mean, Charlie has got DRS here, so. But you can see here, it's just Harry's keeping up with these mediums. He's got the pace.
He really has. Should Harry be in front? Oh, what's happened?
One him.
I believe that was George who spun, maybe. I don't think it was, but it looked like it. He was standing still for a minute.
And it was George and Latifi having a bit of an incident there.
I'm not too sure, to be honest.
I think it was Latifi, or maybe Albon, sorry. Yeah, it was George and Albon having a moment.
Well, George will be hoping he can keep it together for the last laps, because of course he has now a 39-second gap. The fact he's been able to pull now a 36-second gap is major.
Yeah, that is major. Considering now when he boxes, he'll probably... Oh, hello. There's a yellow flag here, and that is Latifi being pulling over to the side.
And that means our third DNF of a race, Nicholas Latifi, now, due to what I can only imagine is engine problems, putting off to the side, and is our third DNF of a race.
Yeah, it is indeed. But yeah, going back to the George time, with him boxing, it's probably going to put him about 10 seconds clear of Charlie as things stand, which is good news for George. Being on fresh tyres and 10 seconds clear is going to be a huge advantage.
When he actually decides to pit, though, he's still going.
Yeah, he'll box soon enough. He's going to try and extend those hards as long as he can, because from what I can presume, he'll go into the mediums. And yeah, he wants those mediums as fresh as possible if there is a possible chance of Charlie catching up.
Very true, but George will be hoping he can keep it all together, as I said before. But Harry still on Charlie's tail. Are they doing that idea again where Charlie's essentially pulling Harry along to catch up to George, so that when Charlie eventually pits, Harry's that bit closer?
It could be, but I can't help but feel like Harry's being held up here. He's not quite got the pace to overtake, but I think if he gets past, I think Harry will just go away, storm away a little bit. But speaking of which, Callum is now really close to the Ferrari of Charles Leclerc. He did have a wobble on that first corner, but he should be able to gain back some time going down his second DRS straight. Hopefully, possibly thinking about a move going to that third DRS straight.
He will be hoping to get hold of his P7 position to gain those 6 points instead of 4, those 2 extra points. Crucial in any means way. And now looking as far as he can for the overtake on the Ferrari.
Yeah, indeed. Just as we speak there, before they get the overtake, George has pit. He is onto the mediums, and let's see how far that time drops down now. He's going to come out just behind Jamie, so it's going to be an interesting battle there.
I mean, no, to be fair, surely Jamie will get blue flagged.
He is, but so far he's ahead, and if he stays ahead for too long, it will hold George up. And there we go, he's letting him pass now. So yeah, George now ahead.
But yeah, 12 seconds now separating Charlie and George here. Of course, Harry's still behind Charlie. If he gets past Charlie, do you think he can catch up?
Oh, move here. He's got the DRS and he's using the ERS. And yeah, he should have this comfortably wrapped up. He's going down the inside of the turn 1. Look like we'll have DRS in this next straight here, but he should be able to hold him off if he defends correctly.
Oh.
Going for the move down the inside. Callum's allowing him down the inside. Has he got it? Yeah, he's got it. They're going down into the next full-on corners.
Nicely done by Calamere to secure that P7 position. He will be loving the fact that he's up in P7. Can he get P6, do you think?
Yeah, I think it's on the cards. I mean, Bottas, I think, should box again, but Callum does need to box again. He won't be able to last the whole race on those tyres. Let's just see how old those tyres are. Oh, and I think Harry's just got a move on Charlie here.
Yes, he has.
Harry is now just gone down the inside, but Charlie's going to get an opportunity to fight back down this next straight. Will he use it? I think Harry's too quick here. Yeah, Harry is just too quick for Charlie down that straight there, and Charlie now maintains his position. Harry's now going to be hunting down George.
Nicely done by Harry there, but can Harry pull a 12-second gap in on George? Is there any...
I'm being honest, if he keeps fighting with Charlie, no. He needs to break the gap between him and Charlie.
Oh! Charlie went very wide there. What the hell just happened?
Yeah, I think he's struggling a little bit on those hards, maybe. Yeah, that's now broke the gap, and now Harry can now hunt George.
That'll be good for Harry, but he'll want his, what was it, 8th win of the of all time in the DFL. He'll be looking for that to see whether he can secure it or not. But now, of course, the AlphaTauri getting blue flagged by Harry, and the Aston Martin will be following in suit momentarily. I'm sure of it.
Yeah, Harry's going to use the slipstream of the Aston Martin going down the straight here to gain as much time as he can.
My question for you, can Peter catch up to Charlie?
He is on the fresh tyres. It is possible, but he's going to have to sort of pick up the pace a little bit. I mean, with Charlie struggling a little bit, I don't know if he is actually really struggling, if that's just one incident, but if he is struggling, Peter's going to have to capitalise on this massively.
Very true. He's going to have to take advantage of every little mistake that Charlie does make. Whether Charlie does make any more mistakes or not will be crucial to whether Charlie holds the P3 or whether Peter can grab it from him or not. Who knows? But to be honest, Bradley now has got down the gap quite a bit from 50 seconds to 38 seconds. He's coming back. But
yeah, unfortunately, I think points are off the cards for him today, unless there is a safety car. I think, yeah, points are off the cards. It's just going to be a case of bringing the car home. I think with Jamie as well, it's a little tough to decide whether he can really get the points. He might be able to get past Albon, because Albon's going to have to box soon enough. But yeah, it's going to be a case of trying to cut down a 24-second gap on car signs to try and get into the points. I don't see it happening, I'm afraid. It might happen. I hope it proves me wrong. But with Callum as well, also needing to box. He should stay within the points when he goes to box, but yeah, you're gonna hopefully see another load of cars going to the box again.
very true. The last tyres that everyone will choose, whether potentially, I mean, we know that Harry is just pitted. Will Charlie and Harry potentially look to keep their tyres lasting until potentially the last 10 laps and go on to the softs to catch up to George?
No, I don't think they will. Just because the time you'd lose in the pits by putting on the softs, you wouldn't make up again. Captain George, you'd probably make up again 10 seconds but lose 25. It just wouldn't make much sense. They've just got to use everything they can right now, try and get that gap down and just pray for a safety car.
Very true. Do you think that sorry, I'm asking so many questions.
All good.
I guess that's kind of my job, ain't it? Do you think George, being in P1 with a 12-second gap now, has this win? Just it's his win to mess up, basically.
With 21 laps, left to go. You can't give a definitive answer, but yeah, everything's sort of going his way today, and it wouldn't surprise me if he wins it.
Fair enough, fair enough. I mean, George, I don't think we can discredit George at all. Oh, actually, hold up, something we didn't notice. Jamie's up to P11.
Yeah, Jamie's up to P11. That's now a 30-second gap. He's going to have to cut that down massively in this next couple of in these next 20 laps or so, just to get into the points. I mean, McLaren, if they can get any points they can, it'll be a massive bonus compared to Mercedes right now, with both drivers looking to not get points. And that's Callum going to the pits after his tyres are going to be shredded. There's a good drive from him, though, on those tyres, coming from, back of the grid, all the way up to P6 it was.
Yeah, and those will be the medium tyres he's going on. I don't think those will survive 20 laps.
Yeah, I think if they wouldn't, it would be Callum that could make them survive. So, yeah, I think they will survive anyway. I think 20 laps is more than enough. I think George, Harry and that lot will stay on theirs, and theirs going to go beyond 20 laps. Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to see if Jamie can get into points or not. But I think Callum's on for a good points haul here.
Fair enough. I mean, you know, Callum comes out at P8, so a very good position. 6.9 seconds between Callum and Valtteri. Of course, Callum has Kevin Magnussen right on his tail here. He has to defend off Kevin whilst going for Valtteri. It's not a very good task to do, but if he can pull away from Kevin, I think Valtteri's an easy goal for him.
Yeah, 100%. I think those mediums are going to give him the extra pace he needs. And yeah, I think P5 is definitely on the cards for Cam today. Jamie, if he can get that time down, P10, maybe P9. Yeah, I don't see Bradley really getting his points today. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see where the rest of that top four finishes are. I still think George will win, but out of the rest of them, because Peter's now down to 5.5. It's getting close up there with 20 laps to go. It's all to play for.
It really is, and to be honest, with the two Alpines being P1 and P4, and then the two Red Bulls being P2 and P3, the points will be very close, you know, after this first race. I know obviously you don't really talk about the points after the first race and how close it is, but it will be close anyway. Yeah,
100%. I think, what would that equate to then? I think would Alpine just about nick it, I think?
Shall we do some quick calculations? Give me 1 second and I shall check for you. Oh god, Jamie's sending me a message. Jamie's sending a message to the group chat.
I think they'd pip them by 4 points. Without fastest lap, so whoever has fastest lap had the point onto that. But I think, yeah, it'd be Alpine would end on 37 and Red Bull would be on 33.
Wow. So, only separated by 4 points.
As things stand, yeah.
And of course, who has fastest lap right now? I think it's... Oh god. Oh, it's George, so he'll get the extra point, 26 obviously. He got pole.
And he got pole as well, so that'll be 39. So went 39 to 33. 6 points. That's not too bad. And considering the gap they would make on Mercedes and McLaren as well, that would be quite the points haul. And if Peter can also take Charlie, yeah, for P3, that could also boost their points as well.
Very true, but it's all down to Peter, to be honest, to pull back that time on Charlie now. Of course, Harry has 12 seconds to pull on George. I just don't think it's possible with the 17 laps left to go.
Yeah, it's just been a consistent level. I don't think he's really lost time, but he hasn't really gained any. So I think, yeah, George is in a comfortable position right now, and he just basically got to keep it out from the walls. He doesn't want to crash or anything, and he'll win this race.
Very true. Jamie now, he's not building down any of the time. He's keeping it at 33 seconds. As we said, I don't think he's on for points today, very unfortunately. It's just, I don't think it's possible.
Yeah, I think he'll be able to gain back a lot of time on those old hards compared to Carlos Sainz, who's also on old hards. It's just about whether he can pull it down in time or not. Because, yeah, like you say, it's not going down that massively right now, and he needs to just cut it down as big as he can. And, yeah, I think he's struggling a little bit there.
Very true, but a very unlucky time for Jamie. Must say, of course, Bradley and Carl were sober for. Oh! Jamie spun!
And, yeah, I think, yeah, that'll be his chance. It's gone then.
A very unlucky time for Jamie for sure. I'm going to let the guys off for reset to track this race because it is the first race. You know, but
I do want to mention that Charlie is right behind Harry here. He's gained back the pace here, but so has Peter. Peter's gained back on Charlie. So this could be an interesting end to this race here.
The longer for Charlie fights with Harry, and the longer Harry potentially holds up Charlie, the more time for Peter can build back.
Exactly that. It's smart from Charlie here. He didn't want to make a dive bomb, but he pulled back a little bit just so he can get the DRS on the next straight here. Will he go for a move though? That's the real question. I don't think he is. I think he's just riding behind him.
Obviously, Charlie taking it nice and slowly, thinking that he is getting the slipstream off of Harry, the DRS off of Harry, you know, trying to pull away from Peter, but it's just not working. Peter is catching up bit by bit, letting Charlie know, I am here and I am coming for you.
Yeah, he is putting pressure on them, and that might be a play from Red Bull. Because Harry has lost a bit of time to George, so I don't know if he maybe it was just Charlie being faster, but it might be a case of Harry slowing down a little bit to give him that DRS to pull him away from Peter, because Peter was gaining down that time massively.
It's still not working though. He's now got it down to 4.1 seconds. It's still going down bit by bit. Even if that is their plan, it's not working.
Yeah, Peter is really trying here. He's throwing everything at this, and he might reap the rewards at the end. It will be an interesting end because he is closing down that gap, even with them having DRS.
As you say, though, it's going to be an exciting end for sure. If Peter can get up to P2, that is maximum points for Alpine today. And what a great start for Alpine that would be to Season 4. Red Bull have to hope with all they can that they can get away from the Alpine driver.
Yeah. It's, yeah, I think Peter's putting away some good time, but he's going to have to really put on the pressure on now. I mean, he's got the fresher tyres compared to Charlie. He's got 16-lap old hards compared to Charlie's 24-lap old hards. So he has the advantage on tyre life, but I don't know. This DRS is sort of helping them a little bit. It's not helping them too much, but it's it might be enough.
To be honest, as much as I think that Charlie and Harry are, you know, are very smart, I don't think this plan will work out in the end. You see him a proof right now. I think by the end of this, there will be either a three-way battle between both Red Bulls and the Alpine, or Peter will have pulled in front, or someone would have pulled in front, if you get what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, I think Harry's really struggling with these mediums. Just seeing a couple of his corners and stuff, he's struggling a little bit. Maybe it's maybe the tyres are losing a little bit of grip, but yeah, Peter putting away a lot of time here. Through I think particularly sector 2, I think he'd put away a lot of time because Charlie doesn't want to overtake Harry, but I think Harry's going a bit slow around those corners.
Very true. I don't know why Charlie doesn't want to overtake him. If I was in Charlie's position, I would say, look, I'm faster than you. If we want to keep this position, I need to get ahead of you. We need to score as many points as we can here.
That could be the case. It could be the fact that he is the faster car, but it might be just staying back, waiting for his tyres to just not die off, because he has been on those tyres for 25 laps now. He doesn't want to go too far full out. Not now. Probably maybe when you're looking at the last 5-6 laps, he might push as hard as he can. He does have the ERS storage, so he can push when he wants to. But yeah, it's very interesting between these two here.
Very, very true.
Which, actually, Callum is actually catching up with Valtteri Bottas.
Could potentially be an overtake here for P7. More points for McLaren today.
Yeah, he's going to be definitely doing McLaren a big helping hand. Gives them an advantage on Mercedes, which could come vital towards the end of the season.
Of course, something we didn't speak about, Jamie was in McLaren in Season 2. Of course, now returning, but instead of being with Ritvick, he's with Callum. Potentially finish higher this season than they did in Season 2. Who knows with Callum instead of Ritvick.
Yeah, that's true, but there is an extra team. Oh, he's gone down the inside. Oh, there's a bit of a moment there for Valtteri Bottas, and Callum takes full advantage of it. He has DRS as well because he was behind on the detection, and yeah, it should be a nice comfortable overtake for him as he now puts pressure on Yuki Tsunoda, who's closing the gap on Charles Leclerc as well.
It seems that Callum is not done getting up higher and higher today, and he wants more and more positions, more and more points to secure himself higher up in this championship fight.
It's true, but also Charlie got really close to Harry just a second ago. Harry went wide on a corner, and it's invited Charlie back in. But as you say as well, Peter is closing that gap down still. It's now down to 2.5. He'll catch them before the end of the race, 100%.
Peter absolutely showing what he can do here today, not giving up for anything, wants both these positions so that he can again maximise the points for Alpine and show why he and George potentially are the dominant team this season.
Yeah, they will be the ones to look out for if they can pull off a 1-2 here today.
But I think Silverstone will be a very interesting track. We've seen Harry and Charlie go at it on Silverstone before, haven't we? We've seen you and Callum go at it before. I can't really remember Silverstone in Season 2. I don't know why.
I think I've just realised something as well. I think we might also have a Bahrain curse inside our own thingy. Actually, no, we don't actually. We did, but Charlie broke it last season. I was going to say, in real life F1, whoever wins Bahrain doesn't win the championship later on. But with Season 3, Charlie did win it. But apart from that, it was Callum that won it, then I won it. And who knows, it might be. Could the curse be back? Could George win it this season? Or
who knows? As much as, curses bring stories like our infamous Belgium DFL curse, Vash.
Yeah.
That's just something else, ain't it, that curse? We don't want another curse.
No. Hopefully Charlie's broken it and we don't get it again, but
yeah,
it could open the door for other people if it is true.
That's very true. I mean, Belgium is the second to last race, so that curse will be very prominent in the championship if it's close.
It is true, yeah, that is true. Harry is struggling here. He's got no ERS. You can see his backlight flashing here. He is running low on anything, and Charlie has the ERS. I'm not sure why he's not using this to take advantage here, because Harry is struggling. Oh, and they've
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Charlie has now just taken out Harry.
Charlie has said he's had enough. And
now it's invited Peter back into the equation here, who's now trying to get past Harry. Round the outside he goes.
What
I don't know what's happened. That miscommunication maybe? I don't really know.
I said this beforehand, you know, back in season 1, Bahrain and...
On the inside.
Oh!
And he get the move done. They're wheel bouncing off each other.
Harry will not let Peter pass. He will not let the Alpine get this P3 position here at all.
Yeah, he's going to have DRS though. He's going to have DRS down the next straight as well. So Harry is struggling on these mediums.
What the hell just happened? I mean, I was speaking about it before, just interrupt me if something happens, but Season 1, Bahrain Jeddah, I'm not sure what happened, but Charlie had to leave, obviously, after that. DNS, both races, for both of them as teammates, obviously maybe communication issues or something, and now come Season 3, Bahrain, they're back together, and we've seen this happen.
Yeah, that's not what you want in the first race at all, and now Peter's right behind Harry here. He's just going to look down the outside. I mean, this is somewhat defending from Harry here. I can't lie. There's a lot of weaving. I can't lie.
Will got to happen between both of them.
All.
It's almost like Checo vibes. Like Charlie's and Max Verstappen, Harry's Checo, and Peter is Lewis Hamilton. And it's a 2021 Abu Dhabi finale.
Yeah, but Harry doesn't want to do too much weaving because that would be an illegal move. If Peter is the fastest car, he has to let him past. So it's going to be very interesting. I mean, he's building Charlie's building the gap to Harry now. So, if Peter can get on the podium today, that would still boost Alpine's points. So, a P2 wouldn't necessarily, if he doesn't get P2, it wouldn't necessarily be the end of the world because he'd still gain loads of points on Red Bull today.
But you know yourself how good Harry is at defending. I mean, he defended you very well back in the Abu Dhabi finale, didn't he? He let Charlie get ahead. But it's almost like a redo of that, really.
Yeah, I think what happened between Charlie and Harry is a similar thing between what me and Harry had a lot last season. Is that when Harry went for the brakes, Charlie also could brake later than Charlie, and it ended up being the fact that he had nowhere else to go and just hit into the back of him, and Harry spun. But it's a lot closer down this straight here. Can we see if Pete can get a move? He's right behind Harry.
Oh!
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
That's a safety car as well. That brings it all back in. George is now going to be annoyed with that from his teammate.
What the hell was Peter thinking?
I don't know. He got too close there and just clipped the back of the rear of Harry, and that's it. That's out. That's him out the game. That brings into play Callum again now, and Jamie. Jamie can come into the points. Maybe Bradley too. This is all turning out good news for everyone else on the grid, but for Charlie and George, who are looking to try and break away.
And of course, Harry and Carl, the two drivers to DNF this race. Will Harry want that investigated?
I'm just having a look at the group chat now, and Harry is annoyed. Peter's responding. Yeah, Peter's saying he's swerving. I mean, we'll have to have a look at that again, but I did mention just beforehand that Harry was swerving. I can't remember if he was swerving on that time where he got hit, but he definitely was swerving in the straight before that.
Shut up, man. You were fucking behind me. You had no fucking line.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I'm going to have to look back at that incident again, because that's going to be interesting.
And now George has pitted for the softs. Charlie pits as well. I'm guessing going for the softs. Peter's taken a P1 here. Decided not to pit here. Is that tactical thinking? You know, let George pass and then hold up Charlie the way Harry held up Peter.
Unfortunately, I just had a look at the replay of that incident. I saved a clip of that, and yeah, unfortunately, I can't see Harry weaving there. I think that is down to Peter, but also we'll leave it down to the FIA to decide that one. But
I mean,
yeah,
if
I
you
can't
have
help from Harry there.
If you have footage, can you send that to me so I can send it to Maddie and Charlie so they can see all sides? Luckily, I know Peter has footage because he said he recorded it.
Yeah, I have it from Peter's view. But that was. Is that is he staying out? Is Callum staying out? He is staying out, so he's not going to box onto any softs.
Weird. I would have thought Callum at least would pit.
No, but I think he's probably going to just play the safe game and go for P4 here. Jamie's looking like in trouble with that penalty. What penalty has he got here? A 3-second penalty. So you have to build a 3-second gap to Alex Albon, or you will be out the points. Bradley's on soft, so he should be able to just tear his way through these people on 30 lap hards. It should be easy for him.
The funny thing is, I know for certain at least Harry, out of Harry and Peter, Harry has recorded his reactions to the race. So when he sends that in, it's going to be hilarious to watch. But no matter, we're under safety car conditions. As it stands, you have Peter on P1, George in P2, Charlie in P3, Callum in P6 and Jamie in P10, and Bradley back to P15, trying to catch up to the safety car queue. This is an utter chance for Bradley to come back in, an utter lifeline, I would say.
It is a massive lifeline for Mercedes here. They were looking to get 0 points in this race here, and due to some unfortunate circumstances, it could lead to him getting into the points. It's unfortunate for Red Bull as well, because that means one of their drivers who was going to finish for some strong points here today is now out of the race, and they'll definitely want to investigate it from Peter here. But I don't suppose they're going to hold up George and Charlie too much here on those hards compared to the fresh softs. But this could be a chance for maybe Callum if he can catch up. On those mediums compared to Peter's hards, it could be a chance for maybe Callum to push himself into the podium, maybe.
Very true. It'd be great to see Callum back on the podium again. You know, obviously we saw him on the podium in season 3, but you know, potentially a step in the right direction towards a win for him this season.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, he's obviously he won the first Bahrain Grand Prix, and yeah, he's got on the podium in season 3, I believe it was. So yeah, well, it was season 2. It might have been season 2. But yeah, it's good news for Callum on his way up. We do want to see a win for him this season, so yeah, fingers crossed. This is puts him in the right direction.
Very, very true. And of course, we will let you all know the result of what comes about from the incident between Harry and Peter. I'm sure one of them or both of them will end up with a penalty. At least one penalty will be dished out. I'm sure of it. Preston, I'm pretty sure you're sure of it as well, aren't you?
Yeah. I don't want to make too much of a decision because in case it's wrong. But yeah, Harry looks very helpless there. I can't lie. It did look like he was weaving on the previous track, so maybe that would cause a bit of frustration for Peter. But yeah, in that incident there, he was not weaving. He kept a straight line. Got a crashing too. So
yeah,
can't help but feel for Harry in that incident there.
Do you want to hear what Harry has said about the incident?
Just having a look in the group chat now.
It's not on my group chat. It's on.
Okay, yeah.
It's on our stewards group chat. He's in it because he's part of the management team, but he cannot have an opinion on any incidents that regards him.
Yeah.
He said, as for my statement on the incident, I was defending against Peter. He made no move. He just clubbed into me. Peter at no point made his car further left or further right to my car, so regardless, he couldn't have made an overtake and instead wanted to pile into me. I mean, it's not wrong, is it? Unfortunately, you have to say it. It's not wrong.
No. Yeah, you just got to feel for Harry in the situation, because I think he was having a very good drive. He was struggling a little bit on those mediums, but apart from that, he was looking for a guaranteed podium here today. But who knows? It's unfortunate for him, and hopefully he can bounce back further in the season. But the safety car is now in this lap, so hopefully we get under racing soon enough.
Yes, of course, Peter leads the line here. The man under the watchful eyes of the stewards currently. And the man potentially getting a penalty today to wreck Alpine's chances of a 1-2. But it's time to go racing, people, as we go round the final corners. And Peter takes it away, trying to get a brilliant start away from everybody else, away from his teammate now. That will lead George open to an attack by Charlie here, but can Charlie catch up enough?
It was a good start there from Peter there, can't lie. Got away from his teammate very well, unless there's a bit of defending from George. But what's going on here, there's a Callum and Yuki are fighting a bit. There's some yellow flags going on.
Yes, but it seems like
Charlie
Callum...
down on George here. The wheel to wheel.
Oh! Who's going to come on top?
They're not backing out, either of them. They're both going round wheel to wheel. This is not a part of the track you want to go wheel to wheel round. Charlie's not going to have the inside here. And I think he might have got the move for now, but George will be looking for that DRS in a couple of laps' time.
But a very unlucky time for George. Obviously had the massive gap, but the safety car has potentially costed him a win at this race. Can Charlie now go after Peter? Because of course Charlie is also under threat by George, but we know George potentially may not be able to catch up to Charlie here. It's going to be a battle of the fittest here.
Yeah, and like I said, Callum's tearing through the competition. He's now got Leclerc in front of him, who's on 36 lap old hards. It should be a piece of cake for him. But yeah, as you say, I think Peter could be looking at a penalty here, and it's not good news for him. He may finish first on track, but whether we'll go into Silverstone with him finishing first here today is another story. But George now gets the move on Charlie, but Charlie fights back.
What?
George now have the advantage here, so the slipstream is going to be moving down the inside. This is the same thing Charlie just did on the other lap, but it'll be roles reversed.
What?
George is now going to have the inside, and there's a 5-second penalty for ignoring blue flags with Bradley.
What a great battle this is so far.
Oh, they've hit together, wheel banged. And I think that's now Charlie took the brunt of that collision. But yeah, that was something else. Jeez. There's a lot of incidents going on now today.
I think that's mainly a racing incident, but now Charlie is under pressure by Callum. Can Callum look to get the overtake on Charlie here? It is a possibility. Do not count Callum out yet. He is a skilled driver. It could potentially happen here.
Yeah, Charlie's confidence might be a little bit knocked on that wheel bang, but he's going to be looking to get a move on Leclerc, which he does round the outside. That was beautiful from him here. Now he's going to be looking after going after George, but I think that 5-second gap is a bit much right now.
But
this has been an unfortunate end for Alpine here. Been involved in 2 instances with the Red Bulls, and yeah, and this is Callum going around the outside of Leclerc here. Can he get the move done? And he does. He's now ahead.
Nicely done by Callum. A chance at a podium today in the first race of season 4. This will be a brilliant ending.
Bad news here. This is some bad news here. His own teammate is in front of him.
Jamie not letting him past. There we go.
That's some unfortunate news there, to see having to pass his own teammate.
Yeah.
Things you don't like to see, but hey. Now Callum's going to be after Charlie, but with the tyre situation, I think it's going to be unlikely that he's going to get Charlie. But as long as it keeps the time up, keeps behind Charlie, it could end up with the penalty. Peter could end up actually on the podium. So he needs to just keep within a good range of him, and hope to God that he can get something out of this.
Very true. Callum will be hoping that a penalty does come Peter's way. And currently, I mean, what type of penalty, if you were a steward, would you give Peter? If it was his fault, or Harry?
The incident itself is quite bad. The contact is small, but it ends his race. It's not like he's spun him or someone else, and then later on it's caused him to DNF. So he's hit him and killed his race, and I think it's quite severe penalty should be coming from this. But we'll have to see. If Pete has a different angle from what we've seen, then hopefully he can contest it. But not looking good so far.
Who knows? I mean, if George overtakes Peter and George wins that race, it sets Peter down even more by more time. So if, let's say, he gets a 5-second penalty or even a 10-second penalty, he's been done in completely.
Yeah, 100%. Just want to make note though, just as we are approaching the final things before we move back to the front again, is that Bradley has made it into the points. Jamie is really struggling on those hards, and is dropping down the order. Bradley does have a 5-second penalty, but he's got more than enough gap to Lance Stroll, so we could see a Mercedes point here today.
I just love the fact that he is 1 minute and 34 seconds behind Yuki Tsunoda, and he's still in the points.
Yeah, it's quite a surprise.
But well done by Bradley. A great comeback to get that point for Mercedes after the unfortunate end to Carl's race. It'd be nice for Mercedes to get that point. But Jamie now potentially looking for the overtake on Alexander Albon. He is closing in on him, but can he stretch far enough to get the overtake on Albon? It's going to be an interesting one. He's gaining a 0.4 second gap now, potentially going to get the DRS. Alex Albon is nowhere near that DRS on this next straight. He is outside of the DRS zone, so that means the full effect of DRS will be going Jamie's way here. Can he look to the inside for the overtake? The DRS opens up. He has no ERS, unfortunately, but the DRS will assist him. Potentially going on the corner. Can he go on the inside? He's trying to look for it, and he gets it. He goes up to P13. A nice overtake. Albon tries to fight back, but Albon ain't good enough to get ahead. Jamie with the DRS again.
Yeah, it's a good move from Jamie there, but just as we move back to the front again, it's now George just behind Peter here. He's possibly going to be looking to get the overtake just in case off-track decisions are made. He's going to want to take P1 for Alpine here.
Yeah, very true. I mean, will George stretch to get past Peter, or will George allow Peter to take this win? So even if a penalty does happen, Peter still has a bit more time that he's not affected by, if you get what I mean.
That's true, but I just think 30 lap hards versus 7 lap softs, unless it's a team order. And okay, Peter's just drove off the track.
And
he's now DNF'd. He's DNF'd. Callum's now back in the podium. He's
oh my god!
What's happened there?
Why did he do that? I am so confused. What the hell just happened?
It's just to open the door for everyone here. My god. I don't know why that would happen. If he lagged out, maybe, or I don't know.
His wheel disconnected.
No, that's unfortunate. That is unfortunate.
But that means he's sent back to...
He's DNF'd, but does he still get a penalty? Because he did still interfere with another driver's race.
A penalty for next race, potentially.
Potentially, yeah.
That's the only way it can go.
Unfortunately, he did DNF, but it wasn't through the incident itself. It was a different incident.
Yeah. And it's not like it was a proper incident. His wheel disconnected. It's outside of the game.
Exactly, yeah.
Oh! Something's happened to Charlie.
Oh.
But, people, George comes round the final corner to take the first win of Season 4 at the Bahrain Grand Prix. George takes a full 27 points here. He will be relishing in the fact that he is ahead on the championship. He will be loving with the fact. Unfortunately, not full points for Alpine today due to the DNF of Peter. But Harry also DNFs. So, all three podium drivers are from different teams. That means that Alpine goes ahead not only in the drivers but constructors after the first race of the season. Nice win by George. What did you think of that?
That was, yeah, an incredible drive by George. The ending was something else. The amount of incidents we saw, wheels disconnecting, yeah. You couldn't have predicted it from the start, from where we were in the mid-race. And yeah, that was an incredible race, and well done to all the drivers that finished, and commiserations to those that are DNF'd.
And here comes George for the first time of Season 4 coming out of the tunnel onto the podium. Callum on his right, Charlie on his left. George will be loving the fact that he's taken the full 27 points here today. Is that correct, or did Peter get fastest? No, George got it, didn't he? So, he takes home a full 27 points. And that means he goes ahead in the drivers and constructors. A good starting point for George. It's Silverstone next week, people. But we have the leaderboard next, people. We'll be right back with you in a second. And here you are for your leaderboard rundown. George sticks it in first place. Charlie in second. Callum in third. Then you drop down a bit. Bradley gets 9th. So he went up a place. Jamie gets 12th. And then unfortunately Harry and Peter do DNF. And Carl as well. But we'll be back next Sunday with you for Silverstone. Do not miss it, people. It's been a great first race. See you next time, people. Goodbye.